morning. Good morning, Rick Bird.
Good morning. How are you?
I'm fine. Welcome to our Thursday's edition of T-Bird Live, business and
Yes, what
career
are we
tips,
showing today? What are
news.
we showing
Yeah.
you on?
Well, actually, you know what? We're going to talk about that a little bit because my son was saying, we do something on Tuesdays, Wednesdays, and Thursdays, and it might be like a little bit too much, but I had spoken, I said to him that on Tuesdays it's Text Tuesdays with Trina, and I kind of am going through that whole series of the Google platform, and all the different aspects and programs that are supported underneath that platform, and it's so exciting, and it's got like, I mean, I've just started doing it, probably like 3 sessions or yeah, 3 or 4 broadcasts in, and I've got like about 15 to go, and people are actually watching it, and just trying to become more, a better user of, and not even understanding, excuse me, how it all works and what the software can do, and didn't realize how big Google was in terms of all of these little small platforms up under it. And so I'm still gonna want to do that. And then Wednesdays is for women only. I'm doing that in the circle of success, and it's not about business, it's not about technology, it's not about careers, I should say. It's about working on who you are, such as your worth, your value. The last edition yesterday was about mindset. That was a really, really good. If you missed it, you got to check it out. That was a really good broadcast on just what your mindset is. Are you on a negative mindset? Are you on a positive mindset? And most of us are both. We have our negative ways, we have our positive ways, and how are the benefits of the negative and the positive working itself out, and keeping that balance, or doing whatever it needs to do to keep you on the path to where you're going in terms of your success. And it's not just success in your professional and your business life. I'm talking about your personal life, because you got to be whole personally in order to be able to go into your business and be able to do a good job, as well as into your professional if you're on the career path. So, and sometimes you're doing both. You have a career and you have a small business. And then you got your personal life. And I pointed out there's 4 categories in life: personal, career, business, and professional. And one of the questions came up is, what's the difference between your professional and your career? Well, your career, you could be going to school. I mean, you could be going to school to, you're a nurse. Now you want to become a doctor, or you're somebody that's working in the law department, but now you want to become a full-fledged lawyer. So that is more like the career. Your professional are the things that you're involved in outside of work and business. You may be on a couple of professional boards. You may do volunteer work. You may be heavily involved in your church. So those things are, I mean, you bring to that all of the ingredients that come from your business and your career, but it is your professional world. And I tend to keep my all 4 of them separate. But although I bring ingredients from each of them to each of them, if you can understand that. And so those kinds of things, I kind of want to talk directly to my women audience, and just pretty much provide the interaction that you don't see a show like that where it's just talking about women, and not so much women issues, but teaching them about things. And that's what our platforms have always been about, is education. So I'm just, I'm older now, wiser, got a lot of experience
Mm-hmm.
and wisdom and all of that great stuff. And I just want to kind of like build something that people can utilize, especially with the younger women, trying to manipulate everything in life so that they can stay sound and successful at, as a parent, as a wife, and, an employee or a business person. So that's what that show is totally about. And even though I'm doing my circle of success right now, I'm going to start to have a couple of guests come on and talk about specifics when I'm doing the each of the modules. So I kind of like that platform. It's exclusive. And then we have what we do together on Thursdays, which is about what's going on in the news, and then we try to throw in a little business and career tip because that's what we're so used to doing when we always did our T-Bird Live show ever since 1990. So there you have it. So we would love to get input from everybody.
Right, well, you've been trying to close the gap for that for a long while, Trina. And in regards to that, I hope everybody can hear me. Cause
No, we can't. I can't hear you.
can't.
You're on mute.
Yeah, you told me to put it move, baby. How about now?
There you go. You're good.
Okay, cool.
Good.
All right. Like I said, you've been trying to close the gap for a long while as far as like the communication, the education and stuff that you be trying to put through on day-to-day basis. But you're absolutely right. You have to start with self and you have to be whole before you can help somebody else. I like that word. You have to be
Mm-hmm.
whole. Um, and like in other words, putting it in like a technical term or like you need to know your bandwidth. You need to know what you can hold because you might pick up a burden that you can that you may not be able to hold. That's why you need to know your worth, and you have to have find that connection, right, so that you can be on board to help somebody. Because believe it or not, with all that's going on within the world, you need to have that solid foundation because you can very easily wind up if you are not selling the product, you are the product. And that's what you don't want to be. You don't want to be the product. You want to be the seller in this. You want to be in control of this. So you need your wellness, both your physical, spiritual, occupational, financial. You need to be in charge. And like, not saying that everybody's perfect. I know I'm not perfect, but I know that I know how to address these things. And I've been going through life all along, just going through the motions, but not really knowing like the full definition on the reason why I'm doing these things. And like the courses that we're taking, uh, and it is a college course, but it, it tells you about your inner being and how you emulate from the outside and what people see in you.
Mm-hmm.
That's why
Mm-hmm.
people like want to gravitate or like want to gravitate towards you or they repel you because they can see negative energy. We put off uh, a vibe. We all do. We all are vibrations in life, and like what that does, you can tell a bad vibe coming. You can tell a good vibe, and like we are all receptors of that. You know what I mean? But it all stems back, like to me, in my opinion, uh, on like the spiritual level. Sure, you don't have to go to uh, church every week or every day, but you should. You should have
In your heart.
right.
Church is in your heart.
Yeah, well, you should have that and be conscious of that. A lot of people will want to try to take that to the side, but like like we walk, we have to walk in faith. We have to walk in like one as a spiritual, being, whereas we know where we are and we know what we got to do and what our goals are, and that goes into your like your social, meaning developing what a sense of connection of a well-developed support system. You need that support system, and what's that support system? The people around you. That's what you need. You need that solid foundation. If you see somebody, I guess what? I want to revert this to politics. If you know somebody's in your camp, that's a bad apple. So like, what do? You try to stay away or stay clear of that. But a lot of times you can't. So you have to deal with uh, that negative energy, but you don't have to stay in it. Okay. Along with your financial, let's go with your one that's financial. We all need money in order to survive. Not saying you gotta put somebody's throat to like to get your next dollar in or something. You just gotta come in alignment with your soul. You know the difference between right and wrong. You know that that's bad, but that's bad for business. But a lot of people look like over that and say, okay, maybe this time. No, it's no time. You got to do the right thing all the time, which goes with expense in what? Your emotional. You have to develop the skills and the strategy to go through life and like to cope with the stress that you are into, no matter what level you are. Which another spin, let's go with another calculation. Your environmental. You have to have good health, occupying like your present space, stimulating like that environment as being a well-being. You have to have that wellness within you, which goes into physical, recognizing that you need physical activities, no matter like you riding or walking or talking. Just actually uh, engaging yourself. So in order like to do that, you have to have a good diet, plenty of sleep, and plenty of nutrition. I mean, which is things
Mhm.
you need in order to go through life in a peaceful like making that connection with yourself. And a
And,
lot of people more or less have more have they more or less lost that, and they need to bring that back into their life.
and it's funny how when you get older, how you're more in tune to what you eat and when you exercise and those kinds of things.
Yeah, true. Uh, a lot of times, and I put it on an equation. We raise. It's like putting the genie back in the bottle. A lot of times, that top is on that bottle, and you need to take that top off and get back in that bottle for your shelter. You know what I mean? And I just happened to be looking on at like a show today, and it was, you got to put that. You got to put the genie back in the bottle, and you are the genie because you are in control of that environment that you're in or whatever you're making. All right. Does that make sense to anybody? I hope it does. Because a lot of times, like my analogy doesn't like more or less, stick, but it does stick. But maybe you might wake up 1, 2 o'clock in the morning. Oh yeah, that's what he was talking about.
All right. I did owe you when I got an echo. You hear me echo?
Mm-hmm. That's the now you don't.
Oh, okay. Um, definitely when you go to assess how you feel and what when you get up in the morning. We just did a workshop which was so interesting about what was it called, Rick? Morning something. What was it called? Morning whatever. And what they did was they taught us the steps that you should go through every morning when you wake up. And one of the things that I posted on my Facebook page yesterday was that if you start your and I didn't even really, it didn't click to me because we were one of those when we worked, had to be somewhere every morning at 8 o'clock or 9 o'clock. We would of course set our alarm and hit the snooze button. And the guy said in his opening presentation that if you wake up in the morning and the first thing you do is hit your snooze button, it's a form of procrastination and you will procrastinate the entire day. And I thought about it. I was like, wow, that is so huge because you start off your day with, okay, I'm going to do something later. I'm not going to get up and do what I got to do right now. I'm going to,
It's so profound.
exactly. Um, oh, you know what? I think we gotta turn off our, because I'm gonna take off my and those all this talking we've been muting.
Yes.
Oh my God.
Now you're
Sorry about that,
now.
guys. We've been muted for how many minutes?
I don't know, Trina.
All right.
Test ourselves. All right, so let's just go back over it.
Let's go back over it. So
you're not going that far.
Yeah, we were talking about exercise. Rick was talking about healthy and exercising and all that. I hope people don't kind of like look at that and don't hear any noise or us talking and then just think it's it's a tech difficulty and let it go. But anyway, those of you stick by it, fine. I'll put a little note up there that is a pause and just keep listening because we had a mute problem. So anyway, Rick was talking about healthy and we did a little bit about eating. And we've been exercising for since May, doing at least 3 miles a day. Since May. So yeah, June, July, August, September, October. 5, Rick. It's October. And so we found this cool app. I wanted to show you. My son found it. And I actually showed him. He showed it to me as we got done our first mile. So I turned it on, and now it tells me coming back. We had gotten to our destination, and then we came back, and it was a mile. So if we count the destination and then the return, it would be 2 miles we did on our bikes, which is really cool. And again, it's called, the name of the app is Map by Ride by Under Armour. And it's a free workout tracker, cycling workout tracker. And it has some advanced features to the actual program, the actual app that you can buy with the professional version. But the free version will track all your workouts and give you detailed data. And the data is the distance, the time, your average speed, calories, and if you did any elevation. So, going up the hills, down the hills, all that kind of stuff. And it's like a nice little map that shows you.
Yeah, it shows you in like the graph function.
Right, in the graph function. So it's a really cool app. And it will keep track of your route. So it'll give you a history of what you've been doing. But before we got muted, I wanted to also say that as you get older and you're in your 60s, you kind of when it's time to get up and do your routine every day, you don't need an alarm clock like you did back in the when you were younger. And so I guarantee you, if you get up 5 o'clock in the morning on a Monday to go to the bathroom, which older people do or tend to do, the next day you'll wake up at the same time because you got to go to the bathroom again. So that learned behavior with your body is easier. It revisits at the same time. Almost all the time. Whereas when you're young, it takes a longer time for your body to learn your patterns. But at any rate, you got to be healthy. You got to eat right. And you'll just get that longevity. And people won't get sick as much. You don't get colds. Colds with outside of this pandemic will give you an indicator as to how bad your body is if you catch every little thing that's going down the pipe. But if you eat right, your body has all the strength and nutrients that it needs to fight off catching those things. And so, like right now, when I feel my throat getting a little, I'm starting to catch a cold, I'll use my black seed oil, which comes like, this is not too expensive. It's about $10, I think, for this little bottle, $8 or $9, but it's well worth it.
Yes,
when I have asthma runs in my family, so when I get to getting out of breath or I get to choking or coughing, I just, take me a little swig of this. It's got the little what you call them. You just put a little bit. I'm gonna give me a little bit now, and it keeps you. It just does all black seed. You gotta check it out. Black seed oil does all kinds of things for you. Another good tip that I want to tell people about is this thing here called Singer's Citrus and Honey. That's for like a sore throat. Instead of putting in all that chemical stuff, this is alcohol free, and it is more on the natural side of things, opposed to having all kinds of crazy ingredients in there. And so you gotta take good care of yourself. You really gotta take good care of yourself. And I just wanted to piggyback that with Rick with the exercise and eating healthy and get rid of all those white things, the breads, the rices. And I don't mean get rid of it. What I like to do is I like to, okay, this is my week.
In moderation.
And you don't get rid of it completely. Like this week, Rick and I sit down, okay, we're not gonna have bread this week. We're just not gonna have bread. So we make our meals based around anything that doesn't require us to have a sandwich or anything that we like to eat bread with. We don't make that. And then next week we may decide not to eat pasta. That doesn't mean we bring back the bread, but we don't eat pasta. So we'll give up some things. And then we treat ourselves like twice a month on the things that we really like to eat that are not good for us.
Really treat ourselves.
Really treat ourselves. So, but we don't do as bad as we used to. Like when we would really treat ourselves, it would be like we would go get Boston cream donuts and we would get 2 each. Yeah, right, Rick. Yeah, I used to gouge right along with Rick, but I had the pounds to show it and he didn't. But now our sweet thing now is what, Rick? Whipped cream over some fruit. That's like our treat. And maybe one cookie. One cookie. And Rick makes the cookies. We don't buy them anymore. We don't buy the sweets. We make our own cookies, or we'll make our own cupcakes. Like we don't make a cake. We'll make cupcakes. And we'll make only half the batter and have like 4 cupcakes. So cut everything in half so we don't have to worry about having to eat everything, because we were brought up, our generation was brought up, you don't waste food. So if you make it or you cook it or you buy it, you got to eat it. And that's part of being overweight, because you eat everything on your plate, even if you're not hungry, even if you don't need it, you still got to eat it. That's the way we were brought up. So what we decided to do was cut all of that in half so that we don't eat everything on our plate. Have too much on our plate. Yeah.
You gonna eat everything on that plate.
So definitely. And these are just tips. We wanted to do that segment to just talk about it because we're in like Rick said, it's like a college course. It's a 12-week course, doesn't end until November. And we are learning so much about ourselves internally and, things that you should just look out for. And it's designed for people who are, I think the class, you have to be 50 years old to be in the class, right, Rick?
Yeah,
50 or 60, something like that. It's not for younger people, even though they have some younger presenters, but it's just the best course. And it's virtual. So any of our fellow 50, 60-year-olds that are interested in taking it, let us know. And we will definitely, put you in touch with the people, because I think they're going to be doing another one in January. Yeah, this one is in November.
Yeah.
And they're new at it. So they call it cohort. We're in cohort 2. They're just their first cohort, which is we came in on the tail end and found out about it and then signed up for the new one from the beginning. And we enjoy it so much. The presenters are great. It's nice to be in a group of people that, are familiar with your aches and pains and, just your mindset as a 60-year-old, 50-year-old. So it's really, really beneficial.
Right. And it was also that was brought up that you're going to get sick, but you want to fortify yourself. Turn mine off. Turn off my mic. So I hear feedback.
And you got to take your mic out. Or I can hear you.
Okay, you can hear me?
Yeah.
Okay.
My mic is.
Fortify yourself, because, like, the mere fact, you want to bounce back from whatever you get. Whatever, like, say, for instance, you get the flu or the cold, you want to be able to bounce back and not just, like, stay where you are. And that means that you're lacking something in your body. And that's why it's good to have physical activity.
No, I'm not hearing you, Bert.
You're not hearing me. What is wrong with this? We were doing fine before. Okay. We're having some tech.
Yeah, we got some problems.
What happened before? Now, I haven't changed anything.
No, it's not.
Mic off.
I'm on the what's name in this live, but it's not talking.
Okay. Yep. It's not talking again. Okay. Can you hear me?
No, it's still on this. No.
See?
Let me go to Facebook.
Yeah, I'm on Facebook now.
No, I'm yeah, that's
I'm
what I'm
not
saying.
hearing you
I don't hear none either.
Okay. Okay. Say something, Trina.
Let me see.
How about now?
No, I don't hear nothing.
Now I can hear you. We're having technical difficulties here. Now mine done froze up. Okay. You froze? Okay. Say something, Trina.
No, I don't hear nothing.
Now I can hear you. Alright. We need to go out and come back in. How about now?
Wait a minute, no. Wait a minute, I think it might be my phone.
Hmm?
It might be my phone.
No, I can hear you. Difficulties here. Now mine done froze up. Okay. Alright. You froze? We need to go out and come back in. How about now?
Wait a minute, no. Wait a minute, I think it might be my phone.
Hmm?
It might be my phone.
No, I can hear you. How about now? You can't be heard, but it's the echo that's coming in.
phone. It might be my phone.
No, I can hear you. Alright, let's go off. You want to end this broadcast here?
Let me see right here. Hold on. Yeah, it's on.
She's in the background.
Yeah. All right, let me put my earphones back on.
Yeah, you've been using your earphone.
No, I don't think I was.
You've been having them on all the time.
No, I don't hear anything. All I hear is you.
No, that's me. Okay, we look like
Technical difficulties happens all the time. You hear it?
you good.
I don't hear anything coming through my speakers.
I hear you loud and clear. No, I hear you. I hear you too. Testing 1 2. Say testing 1 2.
Testing 1 2. You hear it? That was me before.
Yeah, I'm a little bit delayed.
I don't hear anything coming through my speakers.
We need to go back to
Testing 1 2.
See? You said you didn't hear yourself.
Hear it?
Mm-hmm.
That was me before.
Okay.
It says we're live, but I don't hear it on my phone.
Okay. Well, I hear you here live on computers.
Let's see.
Well, we're gonna.
Yeah, I think it's my phone. I hear it on the Facebook too.
Go on, Trina. Let's go.
All right. All right. Let's go with the. Hopefully they got the message. So look at the scroll. You see me. You see the scroll says, "Don't worry about failures. Worry about the chances you miss when you don't even try." So I just wanted to talk a little bit about that in terms of, as we get older, and you may look back on your life, especially when you're, our age, or you could be 40, you could be in your 30s, and you're wondering whether or not what you've done so far has been a failure or whether or not it has been successful. And, you can't take back that time. You can't go forward with the time. I mean, you can only go forward with time. You can't go back in time. And so therefore, you can't really worry about whether it worked or it didn't work. And the fact that you did try to do it is the most important ingredient that there is. because if going forward you don't try to enhance what you've done so far, or you don't try to eliminate those negatives out of your life, then you'll keep doing the same thing and still keep getting the same results. So that was just, it was a powerful thing that I printed out that I wanted to talk about. Next, I want to talk about the news. I really want to just, I don't want to get too political, but I do want to talk about this past. Yeah, we got to talk about it because, our show is about news and, what's going on in the news and business and technology. No, we don't, but we want to give our perspective because everybody has a perspective. And everybody, for the most part, people are saying it, it was, and you're muted, Rick. It was,
But you can still hear me.
You can?
Yes, Trina, I'm monitoring it over here.
Oh, okay, cool.
Yeah.
And so my thing is that, and this is my perspective on it. You know how when Black folks will have something that they want to discuss that is not a comfortable discussion or a comfortable topic, other people will tend to take a look at how they're saying it, their body language, and not really pay close attention to the content of what they're saying, but more of how they're saying it, the fact that they're saying it, in a loud fashion. They may have raised their voice, or they may have been a little aggressive and passionate about what they're saying. And so what you are saying is discounted. All these other factors take the lead. So what I think that in that debate happened is that was a reverse of Donald Trump. So don't think about what I'm saying in terms of content. Just talk about how and what I'm saying in the debate. And so he was aggressive. He was crazy with his comments. He comments, and he had no content about what he's done in the last few years, what he plans to do if he gets elected. Basically, all of what you expect to be information to be given in a debate. And then when Biden tried to keep it focused and keep it on a professional level, he was attacked. So it was, to me, the plan of action. So that's my take on it. Did it work? I don't think so. I think it disgusted people more than it did anything else. People were like, "Oh my God, I can't believe this is happening in a presidential debate in the country of America." And yet, you got so many people across the country that still want to vote for this guy. And I don't know. I want to put it to you like this. If you have a family of 4 and 3 people in the family tell the truth every single day, and that one person that's left in the family lies every single day, lies about anything, everything, all the time, do you continue to let him lie and still be considered a part of the family in terms of decision making, in terms of what the family is going to stand for, your morals, your all of that? No, you try to fix that problem. You try to get to the bottom of why this kid or parent is a continuous liar. And if they can't change their habits, they can't fix their problems, then the dynamic of the family must change so that one person doesn't affect or infect the other 3 people in the family.
But by the same token, Trina, listen, you in fact can't change him. He's been raised like that or reared like that all of his life, all of his natural born life, and he knows no other. So the family members, they they can like more or less tell them about it, but don't you think they done told them about it? Because like they have a psyche also, which like you know what I mean. You can't get around it. I'm tired of doing this, but if they're part of the same cloth, what are you gonna do? You know what I mean? They're gonna go with it. So like a failure is a failure to them, but I mean to us, but a failure is a win to them because
Unknown
that's what
caller.
they've been used to. You know what I mean? So
Exactly.
so I don't know what it is, but by like the same token, it was supposed to enlighten the voter. That did not enlighten the voter. What that did, it took away from it. But the only one that was intact at the end of the day was like Biden. And that's what we need, in my opinion. That's what we need up front to make sure that the United States won't be rattled by by any uh, by any little tidbit that might come your way that you feel that you got to fight. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, in my opinion, um, has 45 been up to the job? No, he hasn't. Because he's as they say, he's been thinking about himself and not the people around him to make this happen. You know what I mean? But like it runs deeper than one might see because he's deeply like embedded, and this goes to show how other people think or how other weak people thinks that like they think the same way he does, which is really sad. You know what I mean? Because they're not followers; they're like leaders. They're looking for one man to tell him to tell you what to do. And like I think a man one of my brothers told me, he said, "You're gonna let one man stand in like the way of your future," and that's what's been happening to all of his followers. They are following him right into a deep abyss. You know what I mean? And they keep on following him, but it's going to be a matter of time before they wake up. Rather like they bump their head or what? Maybe they need something to more or less uh, ignite them. But he is not an igniter. He's an exciter because he's used to that camera. Now, when they darkened those lights, when they did the debate, he was lost. He was looking for people to clap and this and that, and so he was out of character.
I think they had earpieces in their ear and people were telling them what to do. Especially because I caught him talking. When he was off, he kind of said something under his breath and he was talking to somebody. But they needed to control those mics. I mean, I don't know what kind of fool would narrate and know that, even, after the first 5 or 10 minutes, he should have just turned it off. They should have just, there was no commercial breaks, so I said stop.
No, but I think that's like in order to get that control, I think that's what is needed in order for that to happen.
Hello?
You need to turn off those mics because, like the mere fact, he wasn't listening to what you were saying. You know what I mean? We wasn't listening to anything that they were saying, and like especially like the narrator, which like I thought he did a good job, but he didn't have like the tools to do a better job because I would have turned off the mic. I said after your 2 minutes. Your 2 minutes is up. I'm cut. Your mic will be cut off, and the other opponent will be, in fact, able to speak without interruptions. That's how it should be, all the way live.
Like we need to do, because Ronnie said that we have an echo. So what I'm going to do is mute. You mute. Yeah, see, we get rid of it. And when I get done talking, I'll mute.
That's what I've been doing all along.
Oh, well, see, I don't know. Something's going on. But anyway, hi, Mom. My mom watches every week. So she say hello, Ricky. But anyway, I want to say, this is what I want to say. This, and I have no, I'm not afraid to say it. I'm not afraid of the repercussions that come along with it. I think that, and trust me, I didn't know Donald Trump. I didn't work at one of those casinos. I know I had a sister who did. And there was a lot of people that loved him, that worked for him over in the casinos. A lot of people who didn't like him. I never had the experience of ever meeting him or being involved, but I gotta tell you, I love the Apprentice show. I really love that show. And he is one person that has to regret choosing the reality show to the White House. And I'm going to tell you why I think that. Number one, it was ridiculous for him. He was making money. From what they say, he was making all kinds of money doing the Apprentice show. So, and it was in debt before he got that show, and Apprentice show saved him and brought them back, in terms of finances. So he should have just stuck with that because people love the show. People, like, the whole concept of the show. And people thought he was somebody he wasn't. And so that has been his persona all these years. People think he was one thing, but in reality, he wasn't. By leaving there and going to the White House, he exposed himself so that people now know who he really is, how smart he is, how dumb he is, how stupid he is, how much money he really has, how much taxes he's been. They know everything, and he's an open book now. And that's what you get when you expose yourself to that political world. They have an open book into your life, and they can go in and find out anything there is about you, and then talk about you, and you can't do anything about it. So that was the first mistake. He should have stayed where he was at. Second thing, he's ruined the life of his children because they were highly respected among their peers. A lot of people didn't like them, but they still respected them. Now, nobody's got respect for the entire Trump family. So, you made a huge mistake in going from, you know, a power, seeking power. He didn't do that for money. He did it. Well, he did it for money, but he also did it for power as equally as the money because he felt that he could get worldwide money as in that position, and he has. But you got to look at what's going to happen, brother. When you not brother, but son, when you leave that office, you think that they're gonna those accounts that you got all that money stored in. You don't think those people gonna steal that money from you? And what are you gonna do? Tell the government? Try to get them arrested? No, they're gonna take what they gave you back if you don't win. So either way, he's really gotten, uh, in my yeah, yeah, he's really gotten screwed. You ask me.
Yeah, this is a topic I guess that had to be more or less tackled, but yeah, we can't say so much on here. But like everybody has an opinion, and you can express it. In my opinion, I'm not even going to give mine because, like, the mere fact it might be too radical, for like the viewers.
I already did too much.
Yeah, so like I yield my mine to like Trina, but yeah, but everybody has a right to their opinion. It's like things going on an even keel. I think, in my opinion, I need somebody who I can maybe not communicate on a day-to-day basis, but has a level mind. This guy here is so unpredictable. You don't know which way he's going. So therefore, if I can't, that's like a negative, vibe that I got to stay away from. And like, but we can't help it. But he's there. You know what I mean? So okay, so we need to get off here because like right now, I I got a couple. I got a more or less like get back to business here, but by like the same token, I want everybody to be happy because like the mere fact after November 3rd, it's going, but we need to get out there and vote. That's one thing I will say and leave it like that. We must go out and express ourselves. But
Ronnie says you're a wise man.
Oh, well, thank you. I think that also too. We still don't know how it goes, but we still have to put our foot down and go to the polls, rain or shine, get your vote in, and make sure that it counts because your life and like your life depends on it. Because or like your life as depends on it. And if you want to more or less have like a change, I know it's probably going to take. That's why they go like 4 years. And when I say 4 years, and then the next 4 years they get 8 years in. This if he doesn't get out, our 4 years is going to be totally. It won't be right for any of us because you have a good grip
And you
on
can
things.
you can check your state website and see if
Right.
you're
And I see if you registered and see if you're active or inactive. A lot of people think that they are active, but they might on every website throughout the United States. You can go and tell. I think it's voters.gov or something. The government has like a accurate count, whether you're active or inactive. So when you get down there to the polls, you might be disappointed. And like rather than they like to do that, but a lot of people, a lot of states have the mail-in voting. You got to make sure that you're registered, and they go by your driver's license number. They go by your address, and that's what syncs it up. Because somebody went by and uh, like one of their voting mail 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 notices was like returned, and they put them in the inactive mode, which is sad. But you need to make sure that you're registered to vote. Make sure that you're active and not inactive. You might be on the rolls, but you may not be able to vote. So that's why you need to go online, check it out before you cast your vote. You really got to do the research here. You really got to be more less diligent on how and when, and like go towards your like your heart, because you can. I don't know why I keep saying this, but if you're not selling the product, you are the product, and we do not want to be in that boat. Whereas what we are the product, we want to be the seller of this. We want to cast our vote like we need to and like we should. All the rights that we more or less been, I guess, like delinquent on, or they've been like delinquent on us. We need to get on board, and now is the time. Now is the time. I keep repeating it over and over again. Being on like what, like the circle of control and a circle of concern. You can't be concerned yourself with what he's doing, like the news, like the weather, natural, the natural like disasters such as him. You got to be in a circle of control, controlling what you need to. You know what I mean? What you read, what you buy. He's going to take all that away from you if you don't do the right thing. Just cast your vote, whether it be
all right. Let me go over the
a ballot. Okay, you have it in hand?
yeah.
Okay.
We gotta fix that problem with the echo. So if you take a look at my screen, you'll see that I have the New Jersey state New Jersey dot us, and you can go down here to actually let me just show you how I got it. I just googled the quickest way to do it is just New Jersey voter registration. So you can do Maryland voter registration or wherever you live, and go to that division of register to vote, and you'll see here it says am I registered to vote, and that's what we did. And you just simply type in your name and your date of birth, and then you do a search. So I'll go ahead and let you know what mine is. Oh, it's not even coming up. I don't know what's happening there. Oh, it's just the month and the year. My fault. You hit a search, and it'll come back and tell you whether or not you are active or inactive. So I'm active, and my registration, I registered in 1984, my date of birth. So you can go there and check. So wherever you live, let's say you were in another state, you can actually just go Google it. Let's go with Maryland register to vote. Go to that site. Looks a little different. You put your email and your zip code and you get started. So every state has one. So wherever you're listening to our show at, just go ahead and Google the register to vote in that state, and it'll tell you how you can find out if you're active or not. All right.
All right. All righty, tighty.
All right. We kind of had like a little political scene today, which we've been trying to stay away from, but I got a little bit in, and I'm okay with that. And hopefully you are too. The other issue is we wanted to give you, as we always do our show, a business tip and a career tip. And I have to tell you, the locally in New Jersey for our listening audience and all over the country, actually, it's not just New Jersey. The one stop centers have money in their pocket. They're willing to train you to get new skills, especially if you've been laid off and you haven't worked, your unemployment's about to run out, and all those great things. Now is the time to get educated. Now is the time to get some additional career skills so that this situation doesn't blast you in the neck the next time. You got to have industry. You can no longer have industry specific skills. You have to have global skills. You can't just, okay, I want to be a firefighter, and then firefighters you think are going to be around forever, and they probably will be, but they probably the municipalities are cutting back because they can't afford to keep 1,000 firefighters ready waiting for a fire. Maybe they can only keep 10. You don't know. So you got to have that backup gig. You got to have something else, some other career skills that you can fall back on. And you really need to have, in my opinion, a small business. And in that small business, it's something that is in demand. And it doesn't have to be the same business forever. Like, I can't tell you what went on this week with our fire inspection. We've changed our model, and we're doing training. We're still a training center. We still offer training, but we've actually increased our training pool to now working with autism children. And you have to keep your business model growing with the in demand that exists in the world that you're in at that particular time. So he goes in and he doesn't see the computer desk as normal with the computers all over the place. He sees all these little um, tools that autism children will need, in addition to tablets, because they work with tablets. The technicians work with tablets to assist these children with learning the basic functions that we all know how to do um, earlier in age. And so he didn't know. So I had to educate him about how business works. You can't just stay in a pigeonhole and wait for that industry to recoup itself or come back. You got to go into another area that's in demand. And being knowledgeable of what's in demand, whether it be careers, whether it be products that you use in your personal life, whether it be products or services that you use in your business life or professional life, you got to know what's in demand in this world. Not only so that you can walk through life making the best decisions, but you got to also be able to foresee what's going on in your career or your industry, because it may not be there next. Who would have thought that a waiter and a waitress would be laid off? If one restaurant closed, you had a gazillion other restaurants you could go to and get a job. The
The
default
default
job
Exactly.
job
was a
was a
waitress
waitress.
and a waiter or a host. Now that, I mean, those jobs are not in demand. They got an overflow of people that have those skills and experience, but not enough jobs to fill. So you got to turn your world around and look at what's going on right now. Don't just focus on the fact that it's a pandemic and you can't work. Focus on, okay, it's a pandemic. I'm not working. What are my alternatives? What can I do to better protect myself, be able to market myself, and be able to get that money, those coins, as the young people say, continuously without default, without interruption? That is no longer going to be one job. You got to have four. something you could do personally, something you could do career oriented, something you can do on a professional level, and something you could do in business. You got to have 4 tracks today. And it may be 4 different sets of education. It may be 4 different sets of experience. It may be 4 different sets of tools and resources. Let's say you're a carpenter. You need to make sure you got your carpenter tools, but you might not use those carpenter tools if you're doing virtual training, but you still got your carpenter tools when a job comes up that you need those skills for. You got to have at least 4 things in the bag, guys. 4 things. Because every quarter of this world, every quarter of the year may bring you some different results. And you need to have 4 quarters of education, experience, knowledge, all of that, so that you can adapt no matter where it is. So, what do I mean by that? January, all the restaurants open back up. You bring those skills. You got December coming, November coming. Restaurants aren't probably not going to be open. What are you going to do in the meantime? You can't wait for the government contract. You can't wait for the government check, I should say. You got to figure out what you can do in that down period. It may be cleaning houses for the people that do have money. It may be, selling Christmas trees at Christmas time for the people that can afford to buy a Christmas tree. It may be getting in your spare bedroom and making Christmas gifts that are affordable so that people don't go out and spend $90 on a game for their kid, but they may buy something that you made that is unique to give as a gift. I mean, you got to come up with a solution. You cannot wait for anything today. And you got to get focused. You got to figure out what it is that you got to do. Now, I'm sick and tired of people thinking that they got time to wait. Get into training. The training money's there. Get a training grant. Go to school for something. I'm not saying you got to come to T-Birth Center, even though all of our classes are virtual and you can be right in the cover of your home and you get 2 certifications when you take any of our classes, and we will assist you with getting a job after training for as long as it takes to get you employed. And in some tracks like the RBT, we already got jobs lined up for registered behavioral technicians working with our autism program that we have collaborated with a very fine company who has the expertise in being able to deliver those kinds of services, as well as involved in our training, because you're getting a certified instructor to teach those. You got echo, Rick. Mute. Yeah, don't unmute till you want to talk. And so therefore you're going to get everything that you need in order for you to do, that job that starts out at $17 an hour. We're also doing a Microsoft class that is not only Microsoft Office, but the whole virtual training world, so that you can work from home and get a real legitimate job with companies like Microsoft, Progressive Insurance, Amazon, Walmart. All these companies are hiring people to do work from home. Comcast, all of that. If you don't have those skills to work in an online virtual environment, you might as well forget it, because that's the new administrative office position. Everybody's not going to be going back to the office. They're going to be doing it working from home, and you got to be savvy enough. So that's our other training program that we're doing. Get involved. If you don't pick us, so what? Somebody will, but pick somewhere to go and someone to train and get those skills while you got this downtime. And if you don't listen to anything that I ever say to you, listen to that. Get some skills. Get some people. Companies want to know that you've been recently trained to do this new virtual world, and you got new current skills, not some 20 years of experience when things were done the old way. Nothing's being done the old way. You get that? Everything's being done in a new process, and you got to be equipped with the skills to be able to navigate in your world through that process that exists today, during COVID, post-COVID, all of that. I turn the mic over to my man Rick.
Thank you, Trina. Thank you very much. If you can hear me, I want to go back to the there's a thing, SOS. SOS means like distressed, but it's not. SOS can mean stop, observe, and switch. That's what I'm like more or less. That's what Trina's trying to say now, because like the mere fact, um, things do change. Life do change, just like the like the gentleman came through the inspection. No, we're not a lab. We're not a computer on the desk anymore. We've changed. We're not. You might have saw 486 on the machine. No, we don't do 486s anymore. Things do change, and so does life. But like what we be doing here, Trina does, and I'll just like what I said. She takes it like buffet style, meaning that you can pick what you want. You do your own self-care. She's just putting out the information, and hopefully like she'll give you a seed of ideas so that you can move on with your life. You might take not all of it, might just take what you need, or might take what you think you need. But that's the reason why we repeat ourselves. She repeats herself to reinforce what's going on so that you can incorporate that into your daily life. And that's all part of being like more positive thinking. And that's what we be trying to do. You know what I mean? Because you can manifest yourself in a positive way on high, or you can go with the low. But the point about it is you need to rewrite your reality. Rewrite yourself. You know what I mean? Challenge your thoughts. Because you may have a thought there in your mind that you're going by. That might not be it. So you got to challenge yourself. You know what I mean? Because I go with this. Let's just say this. Are you consuming today's energy, focusing on yesterday's mistakes? You can't do that anymore. There's not enough time. And I'll be the first one to tell you, it's not enough time. Because today can be better than yesterday. And that's what you want. That's what you strive for on a day-to-day basis. And that's what you got to do. So if we repeat ourselves, or you say, "Oh, they're saying the same old thing," no, we're saying nothing. We're saying something new, but you thinking we're saying something else other than what we're saying. You need to analyze it, okay? And that's all I got to say, because I know, that's my gift to you. You know what I mean? That you got to more or less come out of that shell. Well, she was just now talking about age. Age doesn't mean nothing. It's just a number. But I've been reinventing myself since I've been retired. I'm on my second stage. A lot of people don't get to this second stage. That's why I can talk to you so more vividly and tell you, because I come from experience. Trina comes from experience. So to say something that might mislead you, that ain't us. We're not even trying to do that. Because time is of the essence, and you got to keep things moving. You know what I mean? So again, you got to ask yourself: are you consuming today's energy, focusing on yesterday's mistakes? I want you to go with that. Think about that for a minute, so that you can actually say, "Okay, I understand what you're saying." Are you consuming yesterday's? No. Are you consuming today's energy, focusing on yesterday's mistakes? You know what I mean? So whatever seeds we done gave you today, we went on the buffet style. You can pick what you want, or you might not even pick anything this week. But we're gonna give it to you. So if you up for the challenge, or you just gonna let it go by, so be it. Because a lot of people might think that they know everything. I for one know I don't know everything, and I want to get on your team if you feel that way. But I might have to more or less spin off if I see a little crack in there, because I don't want to go down. So at any rate, keep on the positive thinking, keep your high esteem up, and keep moving. Because right now we are in a turmoil here, but I still want you to bear in mind, you can either be one or two things. If you're not selling a product, you are the product. Now analyze that for a minute. Chew on that for a minute. And then you understand exactly where I'm coming from and what I'm saying. Trina, I'm going to turn the mic over there to you.
All right.
Here
Thank
you
you. Thank
go. You have at it. I think we done went over our time, and that's probably why like I'm running out of material here. But at any rate, I can keep going if you want now. If you,
No. Go ahead. Get that mic back, boy. Go
all
ahead. Get
right,
that
here you
mic
go.
back, boy.
You
I
got
want to
to
say,
no, you got to stay on top of your
I want to
game. Just stay
say,
on top of your game. Talk to you later.
I want to say he gave you some good nuggets. If you're not selling a product, you are a product. Powerful, big. Think about it. Write about it. Write stuff down. When you get a nugget like that, write down. Create 2 columns. What applies to you as being a product that you're selling, and what applies to you that being a product yourself, and determine which one you want to be. He also said, are you consuming today's energy focusing on yesterday's mistakes? Big. Are you consuming today's energy focusing on yesterday's mistakes? Now, obviously, it's very important to look at your mistakes and grow from them, but you can't focus on the mistake and use that to create your energy for today. You got to use the what you learned from that mistake to create your energy for today. And that doesn't mean focusing on that mistake. I want to show you real quick.
Okay, Trina. Before you go on, can I just say this? A lot of times you have to, which like we took, you have to interrupt yourself. You've been so busy going on that same track for so long. You need to more or less step back. You need to take off the shackles and take off the blinders. You know, to enforce to not to enforce what your teachers and parents and other people have more or less like said to you, like have more or less said to you. You need to more or less say, listen, I need to go on this for myself. I need to do what I need to do. So you need to take off those blinders because you can't hide behind that anymore. Because like if you blaming yourself or someone else, that is not the ticket. Stay in the game and stay focused. That's it for me, babe.
Okay. I bring this up because I did it. This is one of the segments that I did in my uh Women for Wednesdays, my WWW Wednesdays women webinars for women. It was so powerful yesterday. If you didn't get a chance to see it, it's up on our YouTube channel. It's up on Trina Bird Facebook page. It's also up on the T Bird Live show. And so I talked about your mindset. There are two types of mindsets, in my opinion, positive or negative. And the way you determine what your positives and your negatives are, or is how you respond to challenges, obstacles, efforts, criticism, and success of others. And so I did a really huge exercise on what you do to determine how you resolve it. We did an assessment about a what we call a fixed mindset versus a growth mindset. And then we also gave you a comparison of when you're thinking about your mindset, what is fixed versus growth. So, for example, I just can't learn technology. I'm not good at it. Opposed to technology is hard, but if I keep on trying, I can get better at it. And some people believe that intelligence is something that you're born with, not that you learn it. Some believe intelligence is the result of an effort and continued work. Some people desire to look smart to avoid looking dumb. Some people desire to learn even if it takes effort. So we went over some of these mindsets. It was so powerful. And not only did I give you examples in that presentation that I did, the broadcast, but we also did provide our students or our attendees with a couple of important worksheets where you can figure out what your fixed mindset is versus your growth mindset. And these were examples of what those worksheets look like. And so it was very powerful. It was very powerful. I definitely want, and it's not just for women, it's for men. but I focus on women because I am a woman and I want to, give back to my fellow women who are trying to walk in their steps of life. And because I've walked in my step of life for 63 years, I feel like I have something to give back in order to help someone else's job be a lot easier than mine was. And I do these, and I really get mad at people who are like, there she goes again. I'm not doing like a Facebook live and talking about craziness, or this is where I had dinner at, or this is what we're doing, we're on vacation. I'm not showboating. Every time I get on board, I'm educating you on something, because that's who I am, the educator. And so not only am I going from education to now motivation. So I want to motivate you into realizing that education is powerful, but also giving you the tools so that you know how to, once you get that education, you can apply it and you can take it to the next level. And so that's what I'm going to be about from my age 63 until the end. And that is education, motivation, implementation. You got that? Education, motivation, implementation. And in order for you to do any of those things, you got to have the right mindset. And so that's what we did yesterday. We have a part 2 of it coming up next Wednesday at 10 o'clock. And you're welcome to join it. It is not invitation only, it is free. Just tune into my Facebook page or the YouTube channel, the T-Bird Live YouTube channel, and you'll be able to, if you follow us right now, every time we go live, you don't have to worry about when we're doing it or remember the date and time. It'll just alert you that we're live, and then you can join in on our broadcast, because they're always going to be powerful, they're always going to be educational, and they're always going to be able to give you the tools that you need to be able to apply to your life. We're not trying to tell you how to live your life. We're not trying to tell you what to do in your life. We're just giving you access to information that we have been experiencing over the years. And we want to make sure that we touch somebody's life as we still continue to live and grow in this world. And also all of the knowledge that we've received along the way. Because God doesn't give it to you for you to keep with you and take to your grave. He gives it to you so that you can share it with everybody you know and come in contact with, so they can improve their lives. And I want to leave you with this note. Back in May, my mom, who was 80 at the time, told me that she was walking in her backyard. She has a big backyard. She was doing 5 miles a day, and I think it was 12 or 13,000 steps a day. And I thought to myself, this is ridiculous. At that time, I'm 62 years old, and I don't get up every day and do any kind of form of exercise. Here she is, 20 something years older than me, and she's doing 5 miles. Come on, Trina, get your fat butt up and move. And I did. And since May, Rick and I have been walking 3 miles a day. We just introduced the bike riding, which is giving you a more strenuous workout, because you got to pedal and push and push and push. But you got to build yourself up to being there. I had to build myself up to riding a bike for, an hour to get 2-3 miles in. Walking is easy. Anybody can get started. We also did a workshop yesterday on meditation and how to breathe and how to meditate and how to get in tune with your body. I used to think meditation was stupid. Like, why would you want to sit there and just think about stuff when you could be using that knowledge to make money in your business or grow your career? But yesterday I did the exercises and I found the value in it. And so when I rode my bike today, I did meditation through breathing. Every couple of minutes, I would do my deep breath. So I want to take a minute right now, if you're listening to our show, and just close your eyes and take a deep breath. Breathe in. Wait a couple seconds. Breathe out. Breathe in. Breathe out. You'd be surprised, those couple of seconds, how they can change your trajectory for the day. So again, we're just here to give you information. You could hate us. You could not like us. You could think we're always up to something or doing something, or there they go again. But you know what? Every time we go again, it's to help you. Because we already know what we know. But we want you to know what we know for free.
So
So I'll be waiting for your phone calls so that you can give us something free. You got a number? Give us a call.
We're out. I was on mute. We are 17 minutes over our time, and we are well on our way to starting the rest of our day. And all I can say to you is incorporate good, healthy eating and some exercise. There we go.